I guess the purpose of this conversation is to talk a bit about the three things that we regard as particularly distinctive about the AGM Transitions proposition. So what do we propose to our clients, and how is it different from our competition? And I think they fall into three areas, and I'd like to talk a bit about how we see that rolling forward into 2018. So that's the intent. So the first and most obvious is around duration. So we have these very long-term relationships which, in our opinion, make us quite distinctive from our competition. The second is around our international reach, our international identity. And again, I think that gives us a distinctive edge. And then finally, something which is, I'm clear is distinctive, is around our ability to implement for our clients through our networks. So those three themes are the ones that I'd like to focus on.
Good.
So perhaps I can kick off and talk about how I see that playing out in 2018 when it comes to long-term relationships. Because for me, long-term relationships are at the heart of what we do. We have the enormously privileged position of building long-term plans around the careers of our clients, who are successful people who are trying to challenge themselves consistently. And I think what's changed, interestingly, is that because we now engage with them not just at the point of transition, we also talk with them through their time in role through sounding board. We have opportunities to engage with our clients at multiple points. And it's particularly enjoyable when you get to that moment where somebody comes back and says, well, I really need to look with you at my career plan another time, and see whether or not that needs to be updated, or another instance where a female client came back and said, well, I've successfully, with your help, become a chief operating officer, but now 3 years on I need to become the chief executive, which is what we said in the career plan. So that kind of long-term view, I hope, will characterize what we're doing during 2018. So let's pass over to you, Ken, to talk about the international.
Yeah, the international side. I really see two developments here that are going to occupy a fair bit of our time in 2018. I think the first is an increasing trend in our career transitions business for individual executives to move them across border. For example, we had a Dutchman moving to Hong Kong. We've currently got a Spanish guy who is hoping to move over to the Far East, and I'm sure he'll make it. And I think this is really evidence of our maturing networks, and also the need to be really innovative about the way you cross borders. So those would be the two things that I would be interested in pursuing, and I think will happen automatically. So, I mean, Joe, what are your thoughts on our remaining differentiator, as we call it?
And the networks, as you referred to, are an important part in how we create conversations in order to help people actually implement their career strategy into the marketplace. And we work consistently and strategically to manage and extend and develop our networks in order that we can reach into different types of organisations, different sectors, different locations, depending where our clients want to go. So it is a very important piece of our offering, and I think particularly comes into our own. It particularly comes into its own, as you say, if somebody is wanting to move into a new sector or into a new location that their own personal network doesn't currently reach. So it's gratifying to see that all the investment that we've made is paying off, and we've got our first international network event happening in 2018 outside of the UK, which hopefully we will have many more to come.